Well, isn't today quite a change? Good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. A lot of rain we've had the past couple of days, and behind this cold front now we find ourselves with some crashing temperatures out there. We started off with temperatures in the low 60s when we woke up this morning. Slowly been falling all day, and we're into the mid 40s already over southwest Indiana. That cold air is going to keep funneling in. Big changes on the way. Tonight's video update is being brought to you by Metal Magic in Washington. You can give Chad a call at 698-8555 for all of your paintless dent repair needs, and tell him Southern Indiana Weather sent you. We got another round of rain moving in, folks. You can see it as I put the radar into motion here for you. That will be off, but we'll have plenty more rounds of activity like this as we go throughout the night. If we switch over to satellite and radar, we can talk about sort of the features that we are. Let me take off our isobar lines. Well, if I put them back on, if I zoom out here, you can see the low pressure that caused all this is now up into Canada. It's dragging a cold front here down with it, but in its wake, we've got much colder air funneling in. We've got plenty of clouds to deal with. Not a good night at all if you're wanting to view the total lunar eclipse that will occur tonight. Unfortunately, it looks like you're going to have to go west if you really want to see that. It looks like we're going to stay mostly cloudy overnight, probably just plain cloudy, and not going to be a good night for viewing, unfortunately. And that's sad because it would be certainly a good thing if we could view it. The good news is we do have more opportunities coming up this year. The lunar eclipse actually is going to occur 4 times, I believe, in 2014. So hopefully maybe the other 3 times and we'll have that chance. But plenty of rain, and we even have the possibility of talking about a little bit of snow, as you can see up here. By the time this exits the region or during the overnight hours, it looks like we may even be looking at a little bit of very light snow activity. Let's time that out on the HER model here, Future Radar, the highest resolution model we have. Here we are. By about 9 p.m. tonight, you see another round of rain pushing in, some heavy rain at times, but then as I move this into motion, watch how you see it slowly fill into this very much just dreaded blue shading equaling snow. I just zoom in a little tighter here. I apologize. This tighter view does cut off the very far southwest corner of Indiana. This is just the way the site works. There's nothing I can do about it, though. But it gives you the idea for the rest, for most of the state anyway. You can see this line as it moves through, but get the hint that here by about midnight, 1 a.m., the snow starts to fill in with this. Now notice the 32-degree line, which is this purple line, still well up to our north. So at this time, nothing would be sticking, but we would still see some wet snow flakes start to fly, mixing in with some heavier snow showers, maybe even some flurries on the back side of the system. And then as we move in forward in time, you notice this does start to clear out just a little bit here. But on the back side of the system, you still run the risk of some flurries, and we should be pretty much all snow rather than rain as we go in well into the overnight hours. It looks like we're going to go down to a temperature very near the freezing mark, so I'm not expecting problems here. Some locations may get a dusting out of this. The weather models are going crazy on it. The high-res NAM here is actually suggesting maybe even 2 or 3 inches in a pocket over here. I'm not buying that one bit. The ground temperatures are just way too warm. I mean, we were 79 degrees for a high yesterday. We were 60 degrees this morning still whenever we woke up, and we've been falling still into the up mid 40s to lower 50s across the region. The ground temperatures are still well above freezing, and even though we're going down to the near freezing mark tonight, anything that does fall, I think it's going to be just a light coating at best. You're going to have to go well far north before you start to see any of that accumulation start to stick up. The Canadian actually does a better job of handling that and takes the accumulating snow more towards the north. The GFS wants to bring it all over the state. GFS is half the time clueless anyway. The Euro model, again, is very similar to the Canadian, and over most of us in southern Indiana area here. It takes us down to an inch or less of accumulation, and the reality is it's not going to be an inch of accumulation. We're going to get a dusting out of this at best. What this basically means whenever you see this is the ground is not taking into account the fact that it will melt. So yes, we may have what could amount to 2 or 3 inches of snow fall from the sky, but it's all going to melt. So with the exception of maybe the very early morning hours when we get down to the near the freezing mark, maybe a little bit of a light coating on some elevated surfaces or grassy areas, but otherwise than that, nothing to worry about for us tonight, just more of an annoyance than anything. The fact that it's going to be this cold is worrisome. Now, tomorrow night is going to be the even colder night. Let's take a look at temperatures here. If we just put this into motion, you can see tonight how we fall into the 40s, and then we fall into the 30s. And by the time you wake up tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. or so, 7, 8 a.m. here, you see temperatures below freezing here over central Indiana and near freezing as you go over portions of southern Indiana here. 32, and by the way, I know this, again, I apologize, this model does cut off the southwest corner here of Indiana, but the 32 that you see right here is actually the Evansville Airport, so it gives you all down in that area a hint of what your temperatures would be like. So 32 in Evansville, 31 up here at the Lawrenceville Vincennes Airport, even 34 here in the Louisville area, 34 in Huntingburg. So you get the idea that temperatures tonight are going to be pretty well near the freezing mark. Some of these actually take us to some of the models are a little cooler than this and take us between 30 and 32 for your temperature tonight. So it's going to be a fairly cold night, but tomorrow is going to be an even colder day. We're only going to recover up to a high of around 44 tomorrow afternoon, and then as you continue to put the model into motion, by the time you wake up on Wednesday morning, if I can get it to stay here, what you're going to be seeing is very cold temperatures on Wednesday morning as well. In fact, it looks like we could see some areas even potentially, here we go, if I can get it to the right here, some areas will even get into the upper 20s. And some models want to take us down a little bit lower than that. The coldest area wide temperature that I've seen for tomorrow night is 25. I think it's going to be more like a 27 to 29 degree low area wide. So it's going to be cold. Because of that, the National Weather Service has issued a freeze watch for tomorrow night. Would not be surprised at all to see that upgraded to a freeze warning tomorrow. So if you have sensitive plants out there, make sure that you get them bundled up, cover them up with some plastic if you can. If you got some hanging baskets out already, maybe your begonias or your petunias or your pansies, some of those early spring annuals that we like to get out and into our landscaping. Take them in if you can, especially if they're in hanging baskets. But by all means, take some steps to protect your plants, because otherwise, some of those very sensitive plants, folks, they're going to get nipped tomorrow night. This is nothing to kid around when you're talking 29 degrees. That would definitely be a killing type of event for some of these very sensitive plants. Not to mention that we may have frost to go along with this, because skies should clear out a little bit enough to allow that. But I do have some good news, though. I don't want to end it with all bad news. If we just take a look at the temperature spread over the next 16 days, this isn't bad, all right? We got a little bit of a hump to go through. The 60 degrees that we had today, of course, was early this morning. We've fallen, and we're going to go down to a low around 32. Only mid-40s for a high tomorrow, but then watch this, a slow warming trend. But by the time you get to Sunday, and then even on through here, look how 70s start to dominate the period here in the GFS ensembles. Hey, we'll take it. That's not bad. 68 is our normal high. So the ensembles are suggesting that to close out the month of April, as we go through the rest of it, we may actually return to more of a normal pattern. Now, that's subject to change. As you know, a lot can change a week later. Then the models may see something completely different. But as it stands right now, it does look like we return to a little bit more of a normal pattern, with even a little bit above normal pattern here on certain days. So that's not bad. We'll take it. And normal low temperature is 48. The normal high temperature is 68, right around in there, area wide for us. So you can't complain about that if you're getting closer to normal again. So we will see how that pans out. All right, let's go to southernindianaweather.com. We'll take a look at your Eubelor and Sun 7-day forecast. Again tonight, cloudy with periods of rain. It's just a bad night to view the lunar eclipse. I apologize for that, folks. I wish I had control over the weather. I really do. If I did, this whole wintry mess would not be even here. And we'd be having 70 and sunny today, and 60 and nice and warm tonight. But I don't get to control the weather. They don't pay me for that, unfortunately. That's in God's hands. We'll take what we get, but it looks like it's going to be a cold one, and another cold one tomorrow night as well. Chance of snow showers and flurries after midnight tonight. Again, very limited amounts of accumulation. You might see in isolated pockets of some dustings of snow out there, but nothing to worry about otherwise. Most of us will wake up to no accumulation whatsoever. Then another cold day tomorrow into the mid-40s only for your high. Freeze warning most likely coming tomorrow night. It's a freeze watch right now. I expect that if 27 degrees does verify, we should definitely be under a freeze warning. Again, watch your sensitive plants. The slow warming trend begins under that, under mostly sunny skies, up to the mid-50s, and then, hey, into the 60s on Thursday. A chance of some thunderstorms on Friday with the mid-60s for your high. Saturday and Sunday look like absolutely gorgeous days with temperatures in the mid-60s under partly cloudy skies and no rain chances. We will take that. Now, I will say this. As you go into this extended period, it does get warmer, but it comes warmer with a price. It does look like we have plenty of rain chances coming up over the next couple of weeks, so that'll be the downside to it. Hey, again, April showers bring May flowers. That's what they always say. So we'll see whether that holds out or not, but Plenty of April showers look like they could be coming up. I don't see a major flooding rain event again for us. Hopefully we're over with those 6-inch rains that we've had for the month, but I certainly do see some times coming up where we could get some half-inch rains out of this. We'll see how it pans out. That is it for tonight's video. I'll have another one of these for you tomorrow. For Southern Indiana weather, I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great night, folks.